trying to reach for greatness, man. It's a long road. I'm not saying I'm great now, but I'm saying I could be one day if I keep sticking to this grind. You know what I'm talking about? It's easier to think you famous. It's harder to work for greatness. These kids nowadays give prevalence to the latest.
1, 2, 3. All right, everybody, welcome to the J-Team Brand Podcast. Here, Josh Pizarro, Douglas Elliman,
Janet Tamadiah, Douglas Elliman.
and we got our guy here, Brandon Hatcher. I'm gonna let you introduce yourself. We have Brandon. He's a social media expert, and continue.
An expert. Wow, I like it, man.
I
Appreciate
have
it.
to give the props, man.
So, Brandon Hatcher, man, I gotta say, first of all, New York's my favorite city.
Nice.
Favorite city in the
Good choice,
world, man.
Good choice.
But no, I'm from North Carolina, 26, just turned 26 this month. Was always an entrepreneur, man. But it was kind of like I suppressed it.
And at what age did you I'm an entrepreneur. I'm good for this.
Honestly, probably about 3 years ago.
Wow.
Nice.
Now, I always had the tendencies of an entrepreneur. What I was going to say was I kind of held it in because that pressure of society and parents and friends to go to school, get a job. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like you're speaking about me right now.
You know?
We
Yeah, no,
just
he's
had this
preaching
conversation.
also too.
Literally.
But the undertones were there always, but I didn't really come into the whole entrepreneurial journey until I dropped out of school, which was about
College.
College. Because I was going.
Let's finish high school.
Yeah. Let's finish high
So
school.
gotta get that
Finish
education,
high school.
guys.
College. Let's finish high school.
Yeah, but college, man, I was going for biology.
Oh my God. I was a bio major.
Were you?
Look at that.
Sure
Look
was.
at that.
And I love science. I think it's absolutely necessary.
Yes.
It's just not what I was really into, you know. And by the time I realized I was more business oriented, I really love marketing, you know, the whole social media thing. I was like, okay, so I'll switch my major to business. But I realized, you know, I was learning more watching videos about marketing on YouTube than I was in the classroom, you know, because a lot of the information is kind of outdated. So, you know, that's when I dropped out, and that's kind of once I dropped out and started doing, you know, what I was passionate about. That's kind of when pieces started falling into place.
Okay.
It's been the past about 2 years now. I started a business doing, you know, social media for some of the local businesses in town, and even in some different states across the country. So,
how did your family feel about that, or your parents?
Yeah, man,
that was
South
a tough.
Carolina
It's tough,
and
right?
To New York or other states. It's like
Tough transition. Very, very traditional thinking parents. You know, you need to go to college and get that degree because my mom never went to college. So, you know, I think a lot of our generation's parents were kind of brought up that way. You need a degree. If you don't have a degree, you can only be this successful.
Right.
Or if you don't have a degree, you can only make this much money. Which I quickly learned wasn't actually the case.
So true.
But that was a tough transition with my mom for sure. But it was one of those things where I kind of had to. It's like when I dropped out, it's crunch time, you know.
You have to do what you believe in.
Yeah,
absolutely.
End of the day.
Did mom probably try to put a foot in your ass maybe, or she allowed you to be you and you know what, baby, I believe in you. Do your thing.
And today, does she still ask you
Yeah,
to go back to school?
At first, it was not that easy. It wasn't like, okay, yeah, I support this. Go ahead, drop out.
Right.
No, I'll be honest. My mother helped me, you know, pay for college. She spent over $20,000 out of her own pocket, just for me to drop out.
Yikes!
Wow.
So
That's
you must have felt a little pressure having to almost in essence
Of course.
pay mom back with
Exactly.
some kind of success.
Yeah,
behind
and
the
so
business.
and so when I told her, hey, listen, whether I get this biology degree or whether I don't get this piece of paper, I'm still going to be doing what I'm doing now because I started the business in school.
Okay.
And so I said, I'm not going to use the biology degree. I think the Wall Street Journal just came out with something that said that 70% of college graduates are in a job right now that's completely unrelated to the degree they got.
Man,
I did
you can
read
have
that.
a conversation
You're very right about
with 5 friends and see all 5 not using their college degree. So you're right. I can see that for sure.
I feel like that percentage is a little bit higher, though.
Maybe.
In my opinion.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised, right? But I mean, to me, college is it's a brand, bro.
And it's not for everyone.
It's not for everyone.
You know?
It's like you said, you try it, and then you self-awareness is a big deal. And
Of course.
when you realize, hold on, this is just not for me, you know, and then you start realizing the games behind it, right? Because it's like you start realizing, hold up, this is putting me into debt, like you said, for
literally
for shit that I'm not gonna use. I'm not gonna be, you know, a bio or whatever it is that you were majoring. And then you have School of YouTube, which I'm a fucking fan of.
Of course.
Fan of YouTube and my master's degree in Google. For real, I'm serious. I'm 35, and in essence, you know, jumping into my career or our career, I started late. I didn't have any business background. So, you know, YouTube and a lot of these places, those platforms, they were teaching me entrepreneurship in essence. And then
for free, by the way.
Yes. Absolutely for free. And then, you know, like doing a little reverse engineering and checking, you know, what I'm good at. I started realizing, okay, well, I'm good at business, I'm good at selling, so let me try this. And like you said, man, stumbled across a passion. And it's a big deal, and I think that everybody should absolutely use YouTube or Google and just search everything, right? Like
research
it. The same way you would try anything in school or, you know, like whatever majors you were in.
Well, we've all heard the quote, maybe not everybody, but what is it? Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. So,
Man,
so
like
you know,
that. I never heard of it.
I can't remember. But so
Repeat that again.
So formal education will make you a living. Actually, that's what the quote says, but that's not even guaranteed anymore that it'll make you a living. But self-education will make you a fortune, aka YouTube, Google, reading books.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
You're reading into shit that you actually want.
And a lot of people, or a lot of my friends, in my experience, they'll get their degree in college and then they never read another business book and they're going into business, or they never, you know, find a mentor to learn from them. Yeah.
Do you feel like people can actually go to school for business? And now, like, I think it's formal education, right? Like, you'll get book smart, but I don't think that it's not hands-on. If I fuck up and fail in person, I learn more than if I fuck up on a test and fail it.
I think you can get some key things from going to college for business, yes. Formal. But do you necessarily need to go and get your master's? Maybe not so much. Maybe get the basics, especially if you don't really have the best education. You maybe don't come from the best education, but I think get your undergrad, get the basics, and then maybe from there self-teach yourself, right? You know, like, if that makes sense.
It's about self-awareness.
Yeah, you know, but I don't know. I don't know if you need a 4-year degree for that. You might be able to do it in one.
Yes. Right? That's what I was going to say. I think if you're going to go to school and get a business degree, I don't think it should take more than 18 months.
Right.
But at the same time, I think if you're going to the classroom to try to learn business and you're coming out expecting to be able to crush it in business, I don't think it's going to happen.
It's not realistic.
Yeah.
Now, if you're in business and in college, you could use it for your network.
Of course. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course.
That's a smart way of using your debt, I guess.
Now, I agree. We were talking about Gary, man. I agree with his philosophy on it.
By the way, we're huge Gary Vee fans.
Yeah, yes, of course.
Definitely.
Yeah. That is how we met. Right.
That's how we met. We actually met at a
conference. But I agree with him. I think if you're going to be taking on debt to go to college, maybe especially if it's debt that you don't have, that you're going to have to be paying off, that you can't even declare bankruptcy on, to try to learn business.
Yeah, I just found out you can't do that.
So I don't think that's the smartest thing to do. I really don't think you should do it. But if you have the money, I think college is a great learning experience and a network that you can have. So I think it depends on the situation.
Really
and the
does.
person at the end of the day. Like I said, college is not for everyone, but if you gain something out of it, take it, utilize it, and you know, put it out into the universe. That's just kind of how I feel.
Well, you were self-aware really, really early, which is a great, I guess, thing to have, because I mean, a lot of us, a lot of society, they don't tend to study themselves at all. So self-awareness at a young age, and then to be able to, use it into entrepreneurship, it's also a big deal. And I definitely props on you. Give you a lot of props.
Thank you, man.
Yeah,
thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate
glad to have you. But all right, so let's get into a little bit of your social media strategies.
Yeah.
Right, because I want to talk into that. We have a lot of followers or followings that people that don't really have a strong following.
Yes.
And what would you say, or what kind of, I guess, advice you would give to someone, an entrepreneur who doesn't have the strongest following, but are building their brand? You know, it's something that you've done, so.
Yeah. So I think the best advice is push content everywhere you can. If you can figure out how to make a YouTube video a week, a podcast a week, an Instagram post a day, a Snapchat story every day, if you can figure out how to do that and then figure out how to do more of that, it's only going to work. Unless your content is complete trash, you know what I'm saying?
Really bad.
But as long as you're, in my opinion, as long as you're educating or entertaining, if you can do like the edutainment thing,
Yeah, if you do the
Yeah.
entertainment thing,
yeah, then you'll win.
winning.
You'll win eventually. Like it could be in 2 months, it could be in 2 years, but if you stay consistent, I think with the content across, like I was saying, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, all of that, I think that's the formula. That's a winning formula, no matter what. I think.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah.
But specifically, we were talking about earlier, and we were getting ready to go into it earlier, but I was
Yeah.
Right, but we have to save
somebody
it
was
for the
like, "Wait,
podcast.
Save some for the podcast, man. We were having a hell of a
But-
conversation beforehand.
No, we were talking about Instagram, and that's my favorite place.
The main platform.
It's where I have the most attention, and I think it's one of the places where I've seen people come in from zero and get the most attention the fastest than anywhere else that I've seen.
Organically.
Yes. Mhm.
Exactly.
So we were talking about Instagram, and you were saying, well, how did you get to 20,000 followers? And what I was getting ready to say was, I started an Instagram in 2012 when it came out, and so 6 years later, 20,000, we got kids like the backpack kid that's coming out here doing his silly little dance,
Yep.
and in like 12
Killing
months,
it.
he's got over 1 million followers.
Insane.
And so people are like, Brandon, how'd you get so many followers so fast? I'm like, it's been 6 years. Like, it hasn't
still
been
trying.
fast. I just hit 20 like the other day. Like it's been 6 years, and I don't know. A lot of people I think look at these younger kids that are getting popular so fast, and these accounts that are going, and like, man, I can't do that, or it's too late. But I think if you
And that's crazy. Real quick, I don't mean to
Yeah,
but
no,
it's crazy.
please.
It's crazy to say it's too late when a platform is only 6 years old.
exactly.
Because I tell people, like, I mean, in essence, we grew up without the internet. I'm 35 years old, and having these platforms just come about in 2012, right? I believe it was Instagram.
I think so.
Yeah, and I
Somewhere in there.
I think I started in 2013. I deleted it. I didn't know how
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
this was going.
Yeah.
And I deleted it for personal reasons. I just wanted to start over. And then when I started getting deeper into business, I realized, holy shit, no, I need this.
Yeah.
This is something this is where business is going to be. At the time, I had like a small clothing brand. And I was just like, no, I'll keep the clothing brand line open. I mean, the Instagram open. Everything else is whatever. But yeah, I mean, dude, Instagram is where it's at.
But it's
literally
hard.
where business
So, like,
is.
Josh and I have this debate all the time
Oh, man.
because
Man.
I am not a fan. I've never really been a fan of social media. I like to post things here and there, but like I can go like 6 months without posting anything and
Right.
being okay with it. I just don't like to have my personal
Yeah.
whatever out there. Not that it's not great. My life is fabulous.
Right.
Of course. Thank you, Lord. But we go back and forth about this all the time because obviously it's important for our business, and I get that. And I'm trying to like now learn how to utilize Instagram in the best way that I know how, not how everybody else is doing it, which is like posting like their personal walks on the
Yeah.
in the pier or what. Like I don't care about that. Like I don't
Exactly.
think anybody cares to see me like walk across town. Like
Yeah, they don't.
they
Yeah.
don't care to see that.
true.
So
Yeah,
it's like, how do I now? Because I do feel like for me, it's like it's too late to now start like pushing content and like trying to do these like great things and let people see that. Like, what would you tell somebody that's now trying to do that, has had Instagram, does post minimally or whatever, and then now wants to like kind of like
Turn it up a notch.
turn it up a notch?
Yeah.
Right.
I like that.
So it's definitely not too late. It's definitely not too late. I think Instagram just hit over 700 million active users
Wow.
a month. So it's
crazy.
it's grown like
New
every
York
single
City
month.
alone.
It's grown every single month. So we were talking about this earlier. That's Instagram is the place right now where the most attention is. Why would you not put yourself out there? I mean,
It's
it
like,
only
It's like getting invited to the NBA and not wanting to play in the court. Like, Come on, dude.
I mean,
That's a good way of putting it, yeah.
I think it only takes time. That's all it costs. Is just
I
time.
ain't got time, Brandon. Okay,
You don't have
It takes me
time.
30
Yeah.
minutes to do a
Got time.
post.
Who does?
Got time.
Who does? Hey, I don't either. But
I'm like,
I mean,
filtering it.
Gotta make it.
Josh said that earlier. You got to make
You gotta
it.
make it. Like I'm
Posting is hard, man.
It is.
Like,
Yeah.
let me tell you
tedious.
something.
Dude. It's tedious.
It
Y'all
is.
spend time on that stuff. I
Yeah.
don't have time.
And I make sure that my context is amazing. I make sure my quotes. Are dope.
It gets easier. It gets easier the
he
more
did
the more
say,
you do
yeah.
it.
He was telling me that. He was like, the more you do it, it does get
Mm-hmm.
easier. And I'm like, huh.
Because like when I'm telling
gonna
her
get
about
easier.
these little Snapchat, you know, like we said about the attachment links.
Yeah.
And hey, you can do swipe ups, and she's like, how the fuck do you do that?
Right.
And I'm just
Like, he says it goes
no,
in one
I mean,
ear,
like
not the
you
other.
really
Like,
just have to
what?
play with it and play with
Yes.
it, and like literally just try to learn everything that's on there, because eventually you can push something on there that will change the course of your business. So,
Well,
Yeah.
what's crazy is that my brother, like, literally, he kind of yelled at me the other day and was like, yeah, your business partner is right. You need to push content because I don't know what you're doing on your Instagram because
Yeah.
I don't see anything. And I'm just like, well, damn, whose side are you on? Like, blood. But no, I definitely agree with you. And it's, I think that people just need to hone in focus. And if that's what you want to do and you want to get the content out there, you just have to like kind of make the time, I guess.
Yeah, I'll give you an example of a personal way that's helped me. I've always, since really about 2014 is when I decided, okay, this thing's getting big, talking about Instagram. Because I was always into photography and videography. So when Instagram came along, okay, I was like, this is my platform.
This is kidding me.
perfect.
That's like a
Yeah.
perfect match.
And so
Peanut and jelly.
about 2014, I'm like, okay, I need to just go all in on this because like this is like the place. This is where the cool kids are hanging out. You know, it's my chance to, you know, showcase what I do, who I am. And I was like, I thought, okay, maybe this will be something important. Obviously, it was. But a way that it's helped me was growing my following, connecting with so many people. I'll give you just a personal example. After I dropped out of school, it's about 6 months later. I sent a message to somebody through DM. I was telling you guys, so much of my business has come from just searching hashtags on Instagram and just finding those top posters for that hashtag and just sending them a message, just connecting with them, collaborating. Yeah, exactly. But something that was crazy to me was right after I dropped out of school, Wake Forest University Law School in North Carolina actually had me come and speak at one of their tech conferences, which was insane to me.
Nice.
And they didn't like interview me, nothing like that. Like I gave them links to my social media, you know, and that was all they needed to see. You know,
That's a
it's
big deal.
It's kind of like
Yeah.
your digital resume is the way I look at it. So what is your digital resume saying about you? You know,
Absolutely.
I like
that's
that.
how I look at it.
True,
Mhm.
so
I
true.
like
And
that.
This is why I'm
Yeah.
a big fan of just recording everything that we do. You know, any speaking engagements, all that.
Well, I was going to say,
Yes.
speaking of that, I'd mentioned to Josh that I was thinking about doing, because I don't talk a lot, like
Yeah.
on video. Like I really just don't like to speak.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, well, maybe doing like a vlog. That would be kind of cool. Like I could kind of see myself doing that because I like to think of myself as a very
Yeah.
funny individual.
People want to see
and
that.
just interacting with people because I do like I network a lot and I interact with a lot of different people. So I'm like maybe that would be a good way to kind of like push content for me that makes me comfortable, right? So yeah,
It's always about just being yourself, like being literally true to yourself. Like I don't go out and do shit that I don't like to do. Like I'm not gonna go and scuba dive because it's a cool thing to do. on
right,
scuba.
right.
Hell no, I'm scared of shit. I'm not jumping into.
I
deep
don't
water.
swim,
I don't do
like-
that. It's just not my thing. But you know, talking business, meeting with people. This is what
Yeah.
my Instagram is about.
Yeah.
That's fun for me. Like,
Yeah.
my hustle is hella fun for me.
And that shows,
You know,
and
to show that.
it's gonna show better when you're doing something that you actually love and care about, and people are gonna relate to that more.
100%.
100%. And it's
Definitely.
honestly like that's what I started these platforms for, is to inspire. Because I'm 35 years old, and being in entrepreneurship since I would say I made the jump at like 30,
Yeah.
and full in about 32, full time. And there was just so much information that I was not given as a 20-year-old or a 15-year-old. And times were different. You know, 35 years old, I always say this, like growing up in the 80s, and like you said, society kind of shells you into, you know, like not being yourself almost. In the 80s, we had that a lot. You know, you couldn't be out and say that you were a designer, you liked clothing. They would instantly think you were gay. And these were like things if you're not
Which there's nothing wrong with
self-aware,
that,
which
by
is
the way.
nothing wrong with that, which is totally nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is, if you're not self-aware, and those are things that would, as a kid, kind of scare you away from doing something that you love.
Or even
Now going-
confident. Confidence is
confidence,
key.
absolutely. You
So,
kidding? I
key.
wasn't really that confident when it came to certain things, absolutely. And being shelled up as a kid, and then now being able to, be more accepted when it comes to entrepreneurship, and then now it's a real thing. Because like Gary says all the time, back in the 80s and 90s, you couldn't say you were an entrepreneur. I don't even
It
know
wasn't
what the
cool, man.
fuck was
Right, like, what
you
is
were-
that?
You're a loser.
Yeah, and I
You said, if that's what you said.
I wouldn't
Wow.
even know how to spell it at that time. Like that's how it wasn't just accepted in society at all. So,
Can I say something real quick?
Hell
You
yeah.
said a few years ago you were like 30 or 32.
Yeah.
And dude, that's so young, man. I think that's a
So
point.
young.
Hell yeah.
That's a point we need to make. Like a lot of people talking about being late on Instagram. I know people that are 22 just coming out of college like, oh, I got the wrong degree. It's too late for me now. I'm like, are you
At
kidding me,
22
man?
years old, bro.
Like this guy just said he started after 30.
After 30, man.
That's so young, man. Sam
young, hell
Walton
yeah.
was
So true.
44 when he
Hell yeah.
started Walmart, man.
And that's
Wait, I'm sorry. Say that name again?
Sam Walton was 44 when he started
Wow.
Walmart. You know,
Yeah.
KFC, he was
not
like
know that.
70. Colonel Sanders,
yeah,
like
Colonel Sanders was 70.
you could do
Did not know
nothing for
that.
the next 10 years and
still be ahead of the game.
yeah,
Hell yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's true. I noticed. I mean, I am young, but I like to speak on experience because I'm young. But then I can still speak to 20-year-olds. Like,
Course.
hey, I got 15
Of
years
course.
on you,
It-
bruh.
yeah,
Right.
exactly.
All right,
Exactly.
listen to me. No, I'm kidding. I don't want to just be forced to listen to me. But yeah, no, I definitely like to share my experiences.
Yeah.
Because I've learned a lot, and my whole thing is to inspire.
Isn't that what it's
Aspire
about,
to
man?
Inspire, man.
Literally.
Yep.
Agreed.
Yep.
But
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that's reason enough to go all in on social media because
Hell yeah.
the impact you can make with people. Mm-hmm. And no matter what you do, whether I was saying earlier, like if you're a plumber, like if you do real estate, like I mean, you have the thing that's unique to you, which is your story and your everyday experiences.
Absolutely.
And I think that even if one person can watch that, like you're talking about doing a vlog,
Yeah.
and find some value or inspiration in it, I think isn't that worth it?
And,
I think
and
so.
the cool thing is that you can start
Definitely.
a vlog and like you're a fashion move. You can start a vlog of you picking out cool clothes that you wear for a client or something like
that.
Like
Yeah, stealing it.
there's
Stealing it.
So many. There's so many. Listen, I can.
Yeah.
When it comes to those creating
'em coming.
things, yeah, no, I have fun with that. Like, creating like skits and all that shit's fun.
Yeah.
He's going to be my content creator.
Yeah, no,
You heard it here
seriously.
first.
But, so I definitely want to get into something with you.
Yeah, yeah.
This is
Go ahead.
a new
Go ahead.
platform
Go
that's
ahead.
coming out with Future, and we were talking about this. Alexa skill. And you know me and you, we kind of go back and forth. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, no, this is like the new playground that's gonna come out, and I'm like super excited about it. So give us a little bit about what you're doing in regards to playing around in your, your Alexa skills and things that you're putting out there.
So I just figured this thing out probably like a month or two ago, really. I decided really about 8 months ago, okay, the conference that we met at, Gary said, audio in the next 4 years, everybody is going to have some kind of voice system in their home that talks to them in the morning, at night before they go to sleep, and it's going to tell them the news, tell them the weather, tell them, there's going to be ads on it for their local real estate agents and different things like that. So I was like, okay, I can kind of see that. And so I started looking into it, and I'm Alexa's it's kind of on top of the voice game right now. There's Google Home, there's the Apple
the Apple
HomePods,
HomePod,
of course. Maybe Facebook will come out with one. Who knows? Wouldn't be surprised.
Wouldn't be surprised.
But Alexa, man, it's that thing where it's time is what it is. Like people think Uber sells transportation. No, Uber sells you time. If you can figure out how to sell time to people, I think that thing is always going to be huge. And the Alexa thing, the voice game, that's just selling time to people.
Absolutely.
You don't have to watch the video like YouTube.
I don't have to search it. I can just say, hey,
You talk
Alexa,
to it.
play this.
So do you currently have an Alexa?
Yes.
Okay. Which one do you? I have an Alexa too. Which one do you have?
I have, my girlfriend got me the Echo Dot. It's like
Okay,
the little
that's the one I have, yeah.
flat disc looking one. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure that thing out,
Yeah.
but I finally got it working the
Yeah.
other day, so thank God for that.
And
But-
Yeah, I think it's just people wake up in the morning while they're brushing their teeth, they're getting their news. They don't have to stop and say, okay, what's in the news? Or turn on the
Right.
TV, what's in the news? It's multitasking.
And they're gonna get the JT brand market report.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Coming soon.
Coming very soon.
It's-
Not playing no games.
So what are you doing? So what exactly are you doing with Alexa Skill?
So I created a skill which was extremely difficult. It's almost like I couldn't even tell you how I came across learning how to do it. There's not really a tutorial on YouTube or Google or anything like that I could find. So it was just a lot of experimenting. But I really wanted to do it, so I just kind of pushed through and figured it out. It's like some coding that's involved, which I have no clue about. But anyway, it's like a daily skill. So you have skills on Alexa, right?
Okay.
And you can say, "Hey Alexa, like what's in the news or what's my flash briefing?" And if you're subscribed, kind of like YouTube,
Yeah.
to a skill or to someone's channel like YouTube, then Alexa will play the audio that I upload to Alexa.
No different from an app. So it's no
Right.
different from
So like how
using
you're connected to
another channel.
Pandora, Spotify,
Yeah.
all those things.
Exactly.
Okay.
And now imagine a platform that doesn't have anybody playing on it. Like you get to create pretty much whatever it is that you want to create.
So
which is fun.
So what is the content behind?
So
the stuff?
I create content now specifically for Alexa, like you would create something specifically for Instagram or YouTube. The way I look at it is it's basically like YouTube, but in 2005, before everybody even knows what YouTube
It
is.
was.
And it's just audio instead of audio and video, which means that I'm playing there right now. I have the skill, and it's basically like you. And in my opinion, it's like I'm first to the party. You know,
Pretty
I
much.
don't
And
see
you're
that
setting
many
it up.
people that are doing it. I know Gary Vee has his, Alexa
Yeah.
skill, but it's just a different form of content. I just really think that it's going to be. I mean, it's already in lamps. They have the Alexa lamp.
Yeah.
Where you
Do
talk
they?
to it.
Oh,
yeah,
and
man,
it's
they're
like
there.
it's going to be doing to the front. It's going to be everywhere in your home, just because it saves time.
And
So-
like perfect example, Alexa, you can order your toothpaste,
Yeah.
like what
Yeah.
Gary Vee
Yeah,
does.
yeah.
It was like crazy. It was like, wait, I don't have to go to the store and do food shopping.
You can literally
So
just
let's
say
just
everything.
say like your supermarket comes in and decides to put an Alexa skill where you can just order your shit through their supermarket and have it delivered. Boom, you're winning.
So basically,
You're welcome.
Anybody, yeah. So anybody in the United States that like has my skill enabled, if they say, "Hey Alexa, what's in the news?" or "Hey Alexa, what's my flash briefing?" to get their news of the day, Alexa will play them my audio that I've uploaded of that day, and I can talk to them about. I can talk to anybody in the country in their homes while they're getting ready in the morning about whatever I want, about me, about my business, about you got. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever you want to talk
Wow.
to them about.
And I
So
don't have to search Gary Vee's podcast every morning. I'd be like,
Right.
just play Gary Vee. Cause
Right.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
can you can't play the podcast right now on the skill, can you? Like
You can.
any podcast.
Not any podcast. Well, you would have to have an Alexa skill to.
yeah, you would have to
So
actually.
like the regular podcast that's on here, like that's embedded in like the iPhone, you can't like just say play Gary
No, no,
Vee
no.
podcast,
no.
right?
It
Yeah.
wouldn't be like from your phone. It's literally for the.
It would have to be an Alexa skill
Yes.
that you would say, okay.
It's
Yeah.
kind of a technical process to record audio, and then it's kind of like you have to upload it to a host online somewhere, and then transfer that to the Alexa itself. It's kind of technical to be honest.
And they're probably going to
Yeah.
get obviously
Yeah.
it's going to
I
get
wouldn't touch that
better
stuff.
for
I
sure
wouldn't
because
Yeah.
this is just
Oh,
the
yeah.
beginning,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know. So I'm sure there are going to be more
This is the
skills. There's
beeper.
going to be
Yeah.
Oh, this is the beeper. bro.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
This is a beeper,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna get a cell phone. We're gonna get a Nokia, and then we're gonna get the smartphone.
Right.
But on that platform.
That's
Right.
how I know how early it is, because it's so difficult. Like, it's not mainstream yet to where they're making it easy for everyone to do.
Yeah.
I wonder who
But-
came up
but
with the
as-
Alexa. With Alexa, who came up with that?
What
I
is
guess,
it?
Bezos. Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, it's,
Who's that?
It's, Amazon.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, Amazon. So, yeah, I think it's one of those channels. It's just another channel to add to social
Absolutely.
media, in my opinion.
It's dope.
So tell me a little bit about any upcoming projects that you have going on, because I know you have, like you said, you're in and out of the States.
Yeah.
You travel to New York a lot. Anything regarding that you can talk about? Because I know we said
No,
you can't talk
yeah.
about VaynerMedia, but which is pretty fucking cool.
No, we can talk about that a little.
All right, so let's talk about it.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
so I have a meeting with them
Okay.
in like 2 hours.
Okay, don't worry, we're gonna get you out of here.
No,
in
we
time.
got plenty of time. We got plenty of time. They're not that far.
Good,
But
good.
No, I think it's actually worth telling the story like very quickly. Like,
Absolutely.
when we were at the conference, you know, I went to see Gary Vee speak in New York, and you know, there was
Was that your first time, by the way?
Yeah, it was. Mhm.
Oh, wow.
Crazy,
It was.
Okay.
man.
Uh-huh.
Look how life works.
And it was like people are rushing the stage after the conference is over.
Yeah,
You
we
were
sure
there.
were.
You
We
were
sure
there. That was one of them. I actually
Like-
got to shake his hand.
And so yeah,
And give
so
him a jacket,
and
which
so
he
I
hasn't worn
didn't.
yet.
So I was a little salty. I didn't get to meet him, and I was like, man, I came all this way, and I had emailed him beforehand, and I was like, hey Gary, love to meet you, and he actually emailed me back. He was like, yeah, man, I can't wait to meet you and shake your hand. I was like, cool, that's gonna be awesome. But there were so many people, man, I didn't get a
Yeah, it
chance
was crazy.
to talk to him. But what happened was I walked out into the street afterwards. And I ran into him like right near Times Square, and shook his hand, said hello, and what happened was it was like 5 seconds, and then he was just gone. And I sent him an email right after that, and about 3 hours later at midnight, he replied. I was like, "Hey Gary, you know, came from North Carolina, super inspired by you. You did great at the conference, blah blah." I was like, "I'd love to come by and do a podcast with you." That's like a big ask.
Hell yeah, that's a
Yeah.
big ass. You,
That was huge.
you shot
Hey,
your
you gotta
right.
shoot your
what was
shot.
it?
Yeah.
Jab, right hook,
Right.
you shot your right
I didn't
hook.
even
You
jab,
made
man. I was just like
straight
He
right
just went
hook.
straight forward.
I ain't mad at you, man.
no, but
I should have done that.
yeah. I mean, I just sent him an email, and
funny.
he said he recognized my face in the crowd, probably because I'm like so tall and I had my giant camera, if you remember. So.
Yeah. I definitely remember.
So he definitely
remember.
noticed me, and he
That's
was
how I
like,
noticed you.
Yeah,
I was-
and he was like, I saw your face in the crowd, man. He was like, you know what? I don't have time for the podcast, but I'd love for you to come by and hang out. Ended up, I told you guys, I was there for like 2 or 3 hours. He let me sit in on one of his business meetings, and ever since then, I've kind of been in like steady contact with his team. I've been to one of their events. Got to meet a lot of the people from VaynerMedia. Just good people, man.
Yeah,
just
hell yeah.
good.
I've actually got
people.
I chopped it up with D-Rock a couple
Yeah,
times.
yes.
He's quick to answer and DM'd me like I remember I said the guy sells something on one
Yeah.
of his posts, and he had DM'd me, what do you sell? I'm like, I sell New York City. Like,
Yeah.
I started telling him about everything.
Yeah.
Like, D-Rock,
Yeah.
I'm a
He's like,
fan
that's
of
my
you guys.
entrance.
No, man, I mean, I'm a big fan. I was just
Yeah.
introduced, I want to say I was introduced to Gary Vee's content about 1.5 years ago, maybe a year ago.
About the same for me.
Yeah, and it was just how fast it resonated for me that I became a fan of the content, and then started realizing the kind of person that he was. I was like, oh, this dude he's not Hollywood. He's genuine.
Yeah.
Like, he's the cool business dude, but like super genuine, very open to the public, which was. And I met you at the conference. It was a DE. It was like Douglas Elliman, Gary Vee kind of thing. And that was the first thing that I noticed. For me, it was, I didn't think I was going to meet Gary Vee. It was more so the network around me. Like,
Yeah.
all right, anybody that I didn't see that was an agent, I was like, hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? And like you said, now leading to here and having you here and giving these cool stories.
Exactly.
All this stuff just makes sense and it's fun. And it's like, hell yeah. I'm
that's
huge
what it
Gary
should be
Vee
about.
fan.
Yeah.
So keep up the content.
And that,
Yeah.
man, and that whole community that he's built, us included, it's like the people, it's like-minded people that kind of believe all in the same thing.
Right.
Same things, yeah.
And it's just an uplifting thing, man. I think it's super important to surround yourself with those just good people, man. Just
Absolutely.
kind, good-hearted people.
Yeah, it was. That was funny, right? Because we had that conversation with Howard Lorber.
Yeah.
And he's again the owner of Douglas Elliman,
yeah.
and that was one of the main things that he pointed out. He was like, "Look, when you're in business, it isn't the industry or anything like that. It's the people that you work with. If you have a great team, you will be successful."
Yeah.
Good people. That's what it's about.
And now I'm like, by the way, 3 Lens Media. I want to shout my
Yeah.
guys out.
3
That's
Lens.
my team right here. These guys, they take out, time out their day to film what we have going on and edit and everything else like that.
And they believe in what we're doing, which
Absolutely.
is very important.
Yeah, so for me, it's
so.
almost very important to shout them out almost every episode. So yeah, guys,
Absolutely.
you guys are gonna hear that 3 Lens Media.
That's important, man. That's important.
I think that's the key to success, man. Hell yeah, like
Yeah. Yeah, man. I've been, and since that conference, I've probably been to 5 or 6 other conferences.
Nice.
I was telling you, I was at Grant Cardone's this past week in Vegas, man. And somebody was like, well, oh, dude, how are the speakers? I was like, man, I got a lot from the speakers, but I was there to network with people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I got so much business out of that conference, man. And just meeting new friends and stuff like that.
And being able to go to state to state and then somebody like hitting you up like, hey, Brandon, you're in like, California, come see what's up. Like,
yeah.
That's like the way we're reaching out. Every time you hit up New York, you're like, hey, if you got time, I got time. Let's make it happen.
And we finally got it, man.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
it's about, man. It all connects like that. So, it's crazy isn't it crazy how that works?
Right.
It's crazy, man.
I'm excited about
Yeah.
it. So let me ask you something, man.
Yeah.
Social media expert, because I'm going to keep on calling you.
Right.
Damn it. 2 to 5 years. Where do you see? So I want you to plug in your business, because I haven't got the name of your business and what you're doing as far as for the smaller businesses and content creating. And where do you see that going in the next 2 to 5? Is this
Where do I
something
see
that
my business going?
Yeah, like everything that you have going on.
Yeah. So the name of my business is Social Remedy. I came up with that because originally when I had started it, I was like, okay.
Catchy. I like that.
Yeah.
It's dope.
I was like, okay, I always loved social media since YouTube and Facebook came out. I was like, maybe if I learn more about the marketing side of things, I can help other people do this. And so that's exactly what I did. And I was like, okay, at first I'm going to just be very specific and I'm just going to target doctors. And I was like, okay, remedy, like, medicine remedy. I was like, okay, social remedy. So, but I quickly realized that a lot of businesses in the local area, like restaurants, gyms, chiropractors, dentists, they all need help with it. I didn't want to just limit myself as well, So I started, just reaching out and connecting with local business owners, man, and using social media myself, and been helping them, to grow their exposure, bring them more customers on a regular basis. And I mean, I never would have thought I would have been able to do that, but man, social media is so powerful, man.
So powerful, man.
It's so powerful if you do it right, and it's so fun for me, man, because I always love social media and the fact that I can help other people do it. It's just like it's perfect.
You're
for me.
literally
It's
in
perfect.
dreamland right
exactly.
now, right? Like,
so
who's to say this?
I mean, I
Yeah.
wonder to what you were saying. When you reach out to like these different companies, like how do you reach out without being, I guess, a creep or somebody that they might not want to work with? Like, how do you get them to want to be open to working with you? Because I'm sure thousands of people reach out to different companies a day. We reach out to owners, sellers, developers every day, and we're still trying to figure out like how to like break that mold of like getting their attention, right? So how do you do that?
I'll tell you what, the best strategy that's worked for me, and this could apply to anyone, I think, it goes back to my online presence. What one of the best strategies I'll do is I'll Google businesses. Like if I was, I've got a couple people that I'm working with here in the city, so I will Google, say, chiropractor Manhattan. Okay, so if it comes up on Google, you know how it'll say ad if it's an ad on Google. So if I see that they're spending money on Google Ads, that means they probably have a budget for marketing.
A big budget.
They're already spending money online. So I'm like, okay, this is someone that already believes in the online. You see what I'm saying? So I'll go to their website. I'll see if they have social media. I'm looking for Instagram. If they got an Instagram, I'm DMing them on Instagram because I got 20,000 followers, and it's social proof is what it is.
That's great.
That's my personal strategy that's worked the best for me. It just works.
Now,
it works.
What kind of strategy would you give somebody going in that doesn't? So, for instance, if you understand marketing, but you don't have a strong following,
Right.
but you're going in for the ask, like, hey, let me do it for you for X amount of time or X amount of bucks. How do you start that conversation?
Do it
for me, it's easy. I mean, for people out there.
Offer to do it for free.
Basically.
I would say,
Basically.
and I think someone asked Gary, what would you do if you had to start all over from nothing? He was like, I would take the skill that I'm amazing at, and this applies to anything, no matter what you want to do, whatever I'm great at and can do for other people, I'd say I'll do it for you for free and prove how amazing you are. And then even if, say, and I did that when I first started, and so I would work for free, and then I would use that as the case study. Hey, look at these results I got. I would use that as the study for the next client that I reached out to say, hey, pay me this time.
Right.
Because this is what I did
and
for
then
them.
moving forward, and then it's like you said,
Which is kind of like what we do even in our business too. Like, we're not up there as far as top brokers are
Right.
concerned. But when we do speak to developers and stuff, you know, they know our hustle, they know our grind. It's like, let me show you my work.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not going to tell you about it. I'm going to show you what it is.
I'm very
and you're going to
charismatic.
want to, you're going to want to work with me, basically, you know?
Sometimes too, I think it's just a matter of asking. I don't think people biz dev enough.
Yeah.
So I'm in everybody's DM.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Josh be sliding in the DMs,
Yeah, and I'm
y'all.
sliding in everybody's DMs.
Like, why not?
Yeah, sliding.
Just like,
Hey,
Like
what's
a
going on,
waterfall.
man? This is
Yeah.
my name is, and this is what I do.
I think
There's nothing
I
wrong
think it
with
works. I don't
man.
know why you wouldn't in your spare time, like while you're waiting for the clothes to dry or whatever at night before you go to sleep. I don't know why you wouldn't be like searching, you know, whatever
Everything. And just listening.
and just DM and
Yeah.
This is so true, man. I mean,
I think it works,
This is like literally the most powerful thing on earth right now because your content consumption is everything on here. So
Yep.
like if you use that right,
I think
there's no losing, man.
I think the statistic is
And I'm talking about the phone. I pick up the
Yeah.
phone. I just realized I'm talking
those
about the
of you
podcast,
listening.
but like
Yeah.
showing
Yeah.
the videos of my phone.
We're talking
I
about the
just-
phone.
I'm talking
The
about my phone,
smartphone.
guys. The smartphones are really powerful.
so I think the statistic is 50% of all of our time spent on mobile devices is spent on social media. So I think that's numbers enough to say that no matter what type of business you're in, if you can spend time there, that's where everyone's attention is. All your potential future customers and business partners, that's where they are.
Yep.
So
And kids learn how to use these smartphones before adults. Man, my daughter navigates through these phones and iPads and YouTube very, very easily, man.
Same with my godkids and my nephew.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, no, it's
they know how to do it, man.
better than
It's
me.
crazy,
Is
right?
that not
This is beepers to
insane?
them.
Uh-huh.
I tell
Yeah.
I
I'm
tell
like,
my
teach
daughter,
me.
I tell my daughter like, yeah, when I was growing up, we didn't have iPads and phones, and she was like, "You're old." I was just like,
Okay, Miley.
"Thanks, man."
And they know how to
She's
do it
fine.
all, man.
Yeah.
They know how to do it all.
Yeah.
But no, you were asking for something practical, like what can somebody do? I said work for free, but I really think the strategy of we were talking about earlier, just pushing out content like this right here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's only more exposure for you, even if people people say a lot of times, well, Brandon, you got a lot of followers. I've only got 200. I'm like, that's 200 people.
That are still paying
That are
attention.
still yeah.
That have said, hey, I want to follow you. I'm interested in you. You can't
You don't
take
have
that for
200
granted.
people following you every day when you walk
Exactly.
around. guys.
Right.
Now you do.
And just a few years ago, that wasn't even possible.
At
We didn't
all.
even have this.
This is why I'm excited. I'm like a little giddy kid when it comes to marketing and social media because I didn't have this stuff to play around with. So like now, like you said, getting to expose all the things that you like to do and love. Like, hell yeah, let's do it, man. Let's rock. It's
Yep.
fun. It's fun, man.
Good.
So, I mean, if you have anything that you have left that you want to leave with the audience, because I know you got to run and
Yeah.
got to get my guys over here.
Man, I just want to say for anybody that listens, no matter where this piece of content ends up going, I'll probably take it too and push it out on some of mine if that's fine.
Thank you, man.
Yes,
But,
Are you kidding me?
But I mean,
hope.
Right. We
Man.
appreciate that.
I want to say like if you're hesitating on social media to just go all in, I think you should just do it. Because a lot of people, and I think Gary said this too, I got this from him, a lot of people don't like oysters and they've never tried oysters. Like people
was me.
say, well, Facebook ads don't work, man, or posting, long YouTube videos don't work. And I'm like, how much have you spent? How many videos have you put on YouTube? I think if you can get over the fear of worrying about what could go wrong and think about the possible upside to it, I think if you just go all in over time, and like we were talking earlier, like about you vlogging or something, it's not that you have to sit every day and think, well, what can I post today on Snapchat?
Exactly.
Right.
We came in here and we just recorded our Snapchats us when we walked in this room. That was the content right there. What you're doing
Right.
in your daily life. You're on your way to a meeting. I mean, that's why I'm so excited to move to New York because I'm from a small town.
Oh, you're gonna have fun.
I'm gonna have so
You're
much
gonna have so much
content, man. I
content.
just
Don't
It'll
get
be
lost in the
crazy.
nightlife.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
right.
We got you.
I mean, just
Right. Call us first.
I think if you just press record, or just take the picture, put a nice valuable caption with it, man, I think you don't have to overthink it. I think if you just do it and do it consistently, I think it'll work in your favor.
Agreed. And like you said, just doing it without just just do it. Like literally without
Yeah, I
thinking
like
about
that.
it. You
I
put
like
it,
that.
Like you put it on and go around. You go about your life, man. Go like Gary Vee said, upload it and just go about your fucking life.
And don't worry
Like,
about
who cares about what's.
Don't worry about people's opinions. I think a lot of people are held back, like, oh, they've heard this before. They've heard someone else say this,
Man.
what's so and so gonna think about me if they hear this? Like,
It's
I think that's a
Cares.
losing game.
Yeah.
and it's a terrible
You really
way
gotta
of
be like,
running
who
your
cares?
business and life,
Yeah.
and especially business. If you
And
care
you gotta
about
be-
what they think, like
You got to be open to like exposure of yourself too. I think that's something
I think so.
important.
There's
you
no
know, for
privacy
people
in
to
that.
know.
I think so.
Here's the
Yeah.
thing, guys. Anything that they want to find out, if they really wanted to find out,
Yeah, they
they're
can
gonna
find
it
out. Yeah.
Okay.
That
So-
was my biggest thing with social
your true
media
life.
is that like exposure. Like I'm pretty conservative person,
Yeah.
so for me, like it's like I don't really need people in my business like
Mm-hmm.
that. But I'm getting comfortable with that fact of okay, I'm okay with letting people see like what a day in the life of me is.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got to get comfortable with that. So
Yes. So content, and
Exactly.
be patient.
Yes.
But Brandon, my man, I appreciate you coming by,
Yes,
man.
sir.
And
Yes,
seriously,
thank
you've
you.
given our audience so much like valuable information.
and we definitely look
Greatly
forward to seeing
appreciate
like
it.
what you have.
Yeah, man. Listen, first of
going
all,
on in
we're
the
going to be
future.
working with Brandon. Okay,
Right,
Brandon is going to be
right.
creating our Alexa skill. This has been in talks. Okay, this is already on back scenes. So no, we're definitely going to be working with Brandon. Brandon, I'm excited to see where this goes. And yeah, June.
Dude, this is fun, man. I love
Hell yeah.
doing stuff like this.
Hell
Yeah.
If we can do it again sometime,
No,
I think
Oh,
we
we
should.
will.
You are going to be a reoccurring
Yeah.
theme here.
We want to
Absolutely,
get
because that
an
way-
I like it, man.
For
I like it.
So when you move out to New York,
Yeah.
definitely,
Yep,
we'll,
yep.
we'll
In
have to
6
get
months,
together.
We're going to touch base and see where social media has taken the world.
Yeah.
If we're like dead by, I'm kidding,
Stop.
by robots and shit. No, I'm kidding. Oh man, but guys, thank you for listening to J-Team
Yes,
Brand.
thank you, guys.
J-Team Brand Podcast.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. Thank you.
Brandon
Thank you.
Hatcher,
Thank you, Brandon.
Janet Temadayo, and Josh Pizarro, Douglas Elliman, and we appreciate the hell out of y'all.
All
Take care.
right, peace.
You know what I'm talking about? It's easier to think you famous. It's harder to work for greatness. These kids nowadays get prevalence to the latest. So if the party started 8ish, I'm coming like next Tuesdays. They like when your life's debated. They love when your life's degraded. They hate when your life's upgraded. See, Harry.